Kiana's Flex Appeal was recorded on location at the beautiful West End Maui on Kaanapali Beach.
One of my favorite things about having a gym in my home is that the gym never closes. I can train biceps in the morning and triceps at night. Today's home gym workout will include exercises for the chest, for the back, the shoulders, and the arms. One of the most important things about a successful training routine is it's gotta be fun. So today, Darren and I are gonna show you an entire upper body workout using free weights and the para-body equipment. Today we're going to be doing an advanced superset. He's starting off with the bench press, flat bench press for the overall chest. Secondary muscle groups hit here are the shoulders and the triceps. Now when I do the bench press, I love using dumbbells because you're using each arm independently, so you're really using the stabilization muscles. Perfect.
What'd you call me, dumbbell?
Hey, I resemble that remark. Good. Now because we're supersetting, we're gonna move from one exercise immediately to the next. Okay, one more. Is your chest pumped?
Very.
Now immediately after doing the chest exercise, now he's doing an exercise called the bent over rows for the back. It's important here to have proper stabilization. The quads are tight, the glutes are tight, getting the complete range of motion and contracting the muscles in the back and the upper delts as well. You can really see it working in through here. Very nice. A strong back is important for proper posture. It also helps to prevent any kind of injury too. You want to have a strong bod, right? Looking good there. One more. This is so much fun. I love working out in Maui. Okay, let's move on now. Biceps. Now I'm doing the curls with the easy curl bar. It's a lot more comfortable on my wrist due to the bend in the bar.
Kiana's using the outside of the easy bar grip. You can also use the inside for a different effect on your biceps.
Now, whenever I do bicep exercises, I like to concentrate on going through the motion very slowly, feeling the biceps contract right there and release. And I try to keep my body as stable as possible. Okay, now because I'm supersetting, I'm moving on from the biceps to the triceps. Woo! The bench is hot. Okay. And up. These are called French presses, or I call them skull crushers, because if you drop the bar, guess what happens?
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, really. I'm gonna make sure and keep the elbows in a fixed position. Going down slowly, and pushing up. Notice my thumbs are on the same side as the fingers to really isolate the triceps. Then to finish it off, I could do a close grip bench right here using the same equipment. Okay. Thanks, Darren.
Sure.
Okay, let's move on now. Shoulders, side raises. This is so much fun. And there's many reasons to work out. I know for me, I like to work out because it feels good. I mean, I could be training all day long. I may not look different physically, but mentally, I feel so much more energized, feel more confident, and just feel better about myself. How about you, Darren? Why do you like to work out?
Well, most of all, I just like to look good.
It's an honest answer.
And how you look has a lot to do with how you feel about yourself, too. If you know you're looking good and you're feeling good, your self-concept and your self-esteem is right where it should be, nice and high.
A good point. In addition to side raises for the side delts, you can also vary the routine, again, supersetting the shoulders with the front delts for the front raises. Now remember, Flex Appealers, you're never too old to work out. Training is not only for young people. Strength training is very important for senior citizens because the stabilization muscles are very important in injury prevention. Remember, if you don't use them, you lose them. So, gotta work out. Good. Perfect. Now again, supersetting is not just for opposing muscle groups like the chest and the back. You can also superset one body part like Darren's doing, the shoulders. Okay, should we do our last superset?
Gotcha.
You're working up a sweat there. That's good. Okay, now I'm going to superset biceps and shoulders for this set with the cable curl. Leaning forward slightly, curling the bar up. I like to use a variety of different equipment. That way my muscles don't get used to one movement. And up.
Your motions are nice and controlled. She's using a realistic weight for her.
So remember, flexipelers, strength training and proper nutrition. That's the real key to the fountain of youth. Seniors need resistance training to prevent osteoporosis and many other diseases that could result from inactivity. Kids, on the other hand, need resistance training to help them prepare for sports such as Little League. Little League elbow is one of the most common injuries among children. It's a concern for kids and parents. Now, if your child has pain of the inner forearm, it's a sign of Little League elbow. If the funny bone nerve is involved, numbness or tingling will occur. If you've ever bumped your arm and your arm's tingling, you know that funny bone nerve really isn't that funny. So you must strengthen those forearm muscles before you play Little League. Brad?
Kiana and I are joined here by Caitlin at the Great Western Maui to show you a wrist roll exercise. This is a great preventative exercise for Little League elbow. We turn the rope all the way to the top with the weight and then keep a tension on it and take it all the way down. Caitlin, show me how it's done. One key point here, we don't want you to implement this exercise if you're already injured with Little League elbow. Rest, ice, compression, elevation is something that you got to implement there. That's an acronym, right. Just try to remember that, and hopefully you won't get injured. Kiana?
Thanks, Brad. Representing our Flexipeel Kids group, we've got Frank from Huntington Beach and Noelle from Maui. They're doing the reversed wrist curls perfectly. Wrists over the bench, 5-pound weights, 3-pound weights, getting the complete range of motion, strengthening the muscles right here in the forearm. You guys are doing so well. Now, they just learned this today, and they've already picked it up. So as you can see, it's easy for children to learn. Now, another great exercise is to stand up with the weights, put your arms out straight, and rotate them down. Hold and reverse and up. The wrist rotation is very important. When the down position, you're really getting right in through here, and the up position on the inner forearm. Good, you guys. Keep going. A couple more. Having fun? Smiling? Good. And one more down and up. Good. Now let's put our weights down, and let me show you, too, an excellent stretch. Now what I want you to do is put your left arm out and pull with our hand, just nice and easy, feeling the stretch on the forearm and the other arm. Does that feel good? And reverse, hold down. So you can see stretches are very easy. It's important to maintain flexibility and reverse. Great, you two are awesome. I want you guys to have a seat. Now just keep in mind, Flexipeelers, if you out there have children involved in Little League and their pitchers, have them count the number of pitches rather than the number of innings they pitch, because you'll be surprised how many times you repeat a movement, you could really injure your elbow.
And for all you parents and coaches out there, don't overtrain your talent. Make sure that proper mechanics are taught, whether it's a tennis swing or the baseball pitch. Good sport-specific exercises is recommended in this area, and just make sure that your kids are having fun so they have a lifetime of safe, free activity.
That's a good point, Brad. Fun is very important. So remember, whether we're talking about resistance training, stretches, or baseball, to stay healthy and active and injury-free, you've got to use proper form. All right, you guys ready? And Team Flexipeel! Woo! Cross-training is a great way to provide your body and your mind with an off-season change of pace. If you're not training for a particular sport, use cross-training as a method to add variety and more fun to your workout program. In addition to my cross-training tips, check out my Aquaflex and Kiana metric segments too. The vertical leap is required to rebound effectively in basketball, but you can't develop this with weight training alone. Plyometrics are essential. You'll also need power for the outlet pass.
Rebounding requires explosive leg strength and power, as well as great timing. Rim jumps might look easy, but if you don't have excellent lower body strength, you'll fade fast. Plyometric exercises can increase vertical jump height, which in turn improves rebounding ability. But I'm sure that all of you basketball players out there already know this. But for those of you planning to cross-train with basketball or join a recreation league, you will need to jump into plyometrics first. A month or so of these and other plyometric drills are guaranteed to add height to your jump. Good rebounders also need explosive arm strength in order to deliver quick and forceful passes to their teammates and to gain ball control in the crowded environment under the boards. Medicine ball drills such as overhead throws and the power drop will add muscle speed. Remember that speed is the essence of power, and it can't be developed through strength training alone. So find a flex appeal friend and get going with that medicine ball.
In the weight room, the prospective rebounder should work on the lower body and the shoulders.
To add lower body strength and prepare yourself for the tough plyometric drills, basic strength training exercises should be a part of all of your lower body workouts. All basketball players will need total body strength and power. The military press is a great exercise for the mid and anterior delt and will provide a good foundation for strengthening the entire shoulder area. But for rebounding, our concentration should be on the lower body. Deadlifts are the best exercise for working the hamstrings as well as the hip extensions, because this is the way they function the majority of the time. Hamstring curls or knee flexors won't do the job in strengthening the hamstrings as the key lower body stabilizers. That's why we recommend using deadlifts instead. If you're just beginning a basketball cross-training program, make sure to include calf raises to get ready for plyometrics and to add muscular endurance to the lower part of your leg. Once you regularly participate in a complete plyometrics program plus game action, you can cut back on your calf raises. Every basketball move starts on the lower body, so work on it.
Did you know the thumb's position on the hand exposes it to more force than the rest of the fingers combined? The thumb, under supporting and weight-bearing conditions, receives a lot of weight, particularly when separated from the fingers, as when supporting yourself on parallel bars or stair banisters. When the thumb is forced away from the hand, the ligament that stabilizes the inner thumb joint is stretched or torn. This condition is called gamekeeper's thumb. This injury is common in football, baseball, softball, hockey, skiing, wrestling, and gymnastics. The inside of the thumb joint is painful, swollen, and may have visible bruising. Initial treatment includes RICE, which is rest, ice, compression, and elevation. And if serious, consult a physician to rule out an avulsion fracture. With mild injuries, the thumb should be protected with tape to prevent agitation. With major injuries, the thumb will be in a cast for 6 weeks, followed by taping for activities. Avulsion or total ligament tears require surgery. If you've ever wanted to know how to flatten and tone your midsection, you've tuned in at the right time. Today we'll be doing a variety of crunches, reverse crunches, and medicine ball crunches, finishing off with a hyperextension for the lower back. Of all the letters we receive from viewers at home, the most commonly asked question is, how do I train my abdominals? So it's your lucky day. Brad and I are going to take you through an entire abdominal routine using the hammer strength equipment. We're starting off here with the incline crunch. You're not only working the abs, but also the hip flexors. Notice the limited range of motion. It's a very isolated contraction, bringing the chest to the pelvis, as if there's an imaginary string right over, just crunching his body up. Good, Brad. Okay, let's move on over here. How'd that feel?
Oh, great. Good warm-up.
Good way to start the workout, huh?
That's right.
Now, I love these. Knee tucks are fantastic.
We can see why. A lot of times people do too many repetitions with that, and they're thinking, why am I not seeing those good washboard abs? Nutrition is a big part of all this. We'd rather see you do 10 to 20 good ones than say 30, 40 bad ones.
And if you notice here when I'm doing this movement, I'm starting with the pelvis, my hips, my legs already up, leading with the pelvis, crunching it like an accordion toward the chest, and holding for a beat, right there.
It takes a lot out of you when you hold it at the top, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. It's harder when you wear heavy shoes too.
That's right. You see a lot of people wear heavier resistance in the bottom, like boots in the gym and stuff. Just make sure you got good support.
And you can also do this exercise for the obliques, twisting slightly and bringing the knees up to the side.
If you start feeling it in your thigh muscles, that simply means that you've exhausted your abs, you know, and that's time to call it quits.
And the key when you're doing this is not to use momentum. You want to lift those knees up without swinging, because that's cheating. Okay, now reverse crunches are fantastic for the lower abs. Now watch closely when he's doing this exercise. He's basically just rolling up. It's like a reverse crunch.
Making those abs come together like an accordion.
Good. Again, no momentum. He's just lifting, contracting the abs, bringing the hips up to the chest. So it's like this.
And doing the down phase nice and slow. Every time, you should feel that pull. Squeeze.
Good.
Down.
Now again, don't forget nutrition is key, and so is cardiovascular exercise. You've got to do cardio such as running and biking to shed the excess body fat away so you can see your abdominal muscles. Like that. Looks good.
Thank you.
And again, you're also using the stabilization muscles, keeping the body nice and still, just the lower body is moving. Perfect. Okay, let's go back over here. Now let me show you a slightly more advanced way to do this one. We're getting a good workout, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Now this time with the legs straight and up.
Pivoting at the hip, not the knees. A lot of times people will gain the momentum by bending those knees and then kicking them up. Make sure your low back is against the pad. All the emphasis coming from the abdomen. All the work right here.
And again, no swinging. Just lifting and holding.
Holding it up, down nice and slow. The down phase is harder than the up phase.
Definitely. And again, I can still do obliques to the side.
That's right.
And because the legs are straight, it's a lot more difficult. Okay, let's move on. But don't forget flexibility. If you are a little bit sore, it's okay, because amazingly research has now shown that a typical workout with some muscle damage is associated with the stimulus for muscle to grow. However, doing too much too soon can be a sign of overtraining. So listen to your body and think about what you're doing. Okay, side crunches. Fantastic for developing the obliques. Right in through there. Perfect. Now, it's okay if you can't get up quite as high as Brad. Just the effort of trying to lift the body up will help strengthen the side area of the midsection.
Breathing is so important with this one. Make sure every time that you try to give that ultimate contraction, breathe out good and hard. Let all that air come out of there. It'll just confuse the movement. And if you find that you're still having difficulty, we know that you'll get frustrated with it. Lead with your hand.
Good point.
Pull out there.
Excellent. I know for me, high repetitions for the abdominals with proper form works the best, along with cardio and a low-fat diet. Notice here he's got the towel wrapped underneath the opposite arm. Helps him to start in the right position and the right body alignment. Again though, like every abdominal motion we've shown you, an accordion-like movement. Doesn't matter if you're going straight up or on the side. Okay, now here's a fun one to do with a training partner.
My abs are
you getting tired?
this morning, yeah.
Okay, now this one, all he wants to do is try to touch my hands with the 10-pound medicine ball. Now, as you can see, we've only been doing the abdominal exercises for about 5 minutes, but we're totally pumped already. You can really see more definition in your abs now, Brad.
It takes 5 to 10 minutes a day. That's all it takes to do this.
Good. You can even do this while watching television, in your office. Just put down a nice towel. Good. And of course at the gym. Now this one, he's leading with the ball, coming straight forward. You can also do a negative and bring your arms straight down over your head, Brad. There you go, and up. A little more advanced.
That one is so much more effective at this point.
Perfect. Really gonna burn those abdominal muscles.
Kiana,
Okay, let's move on to our last one.
Okay.
Now,
Trying to
oblique
tucker me out,
crunches.
aren't you?
Yeah. That's what I'm here for.
Okay.
Now again, he's rolling over onto the hip to crunch up the abdominal muscles, keeping the shoulder blades up off the ground.
Lead with the chin.
That's right. A lot of times, I know you've probably seen this, Brad, a lot of people will start flat on their back, crunch up,
Yep.
and lay back down. That's resting. You want to keep the tension on the midsection so you develop nice, strong muscles.
We can rest later. Let's get the good work done right now.
That's right. I know in our busy lifestyles, we don't have a lot of time to work out, so the time you have in the gym, you want to make sure and do everything correctly to maximize your efforts. Okay, let's finish up now, Brad. Let me show you one hyperextension for the back muscles. As you know, the abdominal muscles are like a natural girdle to help prevent lower back problem. So we want to also make sure and strengthen the lower back. All you want to do is relax on a bench and stretch and do an isometric.
A lot of times, people neglect doing the low back exercises. This is a stabilizing muscle for your abdomen, so keep in mind that these are just as important as your abdomen. People think that it's in the back, they tend to forget about that.
So there you have it, Flexi-Feelers. Some fun, effective exercises that you can do for your abs. Fact or fiction? Fact or fiction? Fact or fiction? Fact or fiction? Okay, ladies, here's one for you. Upper body strength is a crucial area of development needed in women. Fact: upper body development is an area where women need more emphasis to offset strength, power, and work capacity differences with men. Women who concentrate on their upper body development during the first 6 months of a resistance training program will see dramatic results. Thanks for joining us this week. Hope you had a great time. See you next time on Kiana's Flex Appeal.
It's a home gym circuit workout that you can do using entirely free weights. In our Aquaflex workout, it's a workout that you can do in the pool using supersets. And if you like to inline skate like I do, you won't want to miss our cross-training workout, which uses strength exercises and plyometric drills too. And in Pro Gym, it's a serious leg workout.